kids, this is teacher Vidya. My aim is to make you all to explain Jahangir's contribution to the expansion and consolidation of the Mughal Empire. Who was Jahangir? Mirza Nur-ud-Din Beg Muhammad Khan Salim, known by his imperial name Jahangir. Jahangir was Akbar's son. He was just a ruler. He had followed the secular policies of his father, maintained good relation with Rajputs to win their support, and respected all religions and sincerely cared for his subjects. After Jahangir became the ruler, he looked after his subjects well. He finally defeated the ruler of Mewar after a long conflict at the time of Akbar. He also controlled the region of Bengal and Awadh to further strengthen the empire and brought the region of Ahmednagar and the region of Gangra in Himalayan region under his control. He treated the defeated rulers with respect, while some of them were released after they accepted his authority. But some, like the Afghans, were inducted in the Mughal armed services. His region was also attacked by Persian troops in the northwest, and he lost Kandahar since he was sick and his son refused to obey his orders. He also troubled by the Portuguese and befriended the English, but he did not trust the Europeans completely. Religious conflicts arose under Jahangir's rule. He was dependent on his queen Nur Jahan. He had conflicts with his son Khurram, who disobeyed his orders and refused to lead the army against the Persians, leading to the Mughals' losses. Let us learn about the Mughal rule under Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. Who was Shah Jahan? Shah Jahan was the third son of the Emperor Jahangir and a grandson of the Emperor Akbar. He was born in Lahore on January 5th, 1952. In 1612, when his title was still Prince Khurram, he married Arjun and Banu Begum. Shah Jahan was a successor of Jahangir, and Aurangzeb was the son of Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb declared himself the king when Shah Jahan was ill. He emerged victorious in the battle fought against his brothers. Raja Jai Singh was a Rajput ruler who helped Aurangzeb to make policies to run the empire. Shah Jahan's rule was considered peaceful except for some military revolts and territorial losses in the north. His rule is often called glorious since a lot of grand monuments were constructed. Trade and commerce flourished, whereas Aurangzeb expanded his empire and had support of the Rajputs. He was unable to keep peace. His rule is divided into two phases from 1658 to 1680 in North India, crossing various revolts and bringing the far eastern region under his control. From 1681 to 1707, expanding his empire in the Deccan region and managing challenges by Maratha king Shivaji. Shah Jahan's rule is positively considered the most glorious period of history as trade and commerce flourished. However, the loss of Kandahar was a negative impact of his rule. Under Aurangzeb's rule, the empire was the largest under any of the Mughal rulers. However, the constant wars affected the peace of the empire, the people, and traders. Let us compare between the policies of Akbar and Aurangzeb. Akbar made friends with the Rajputs. He engaged them in his administration and he married Rajput princess Jodhabai. He treated them honorably and gave post to Rajput prince Raja Man Singh and Dudar Mal. He was secular by nature and practiced the policy of universal tolerance. He had a Mughal alliance with the Rajputs and was determined by personal religious beliefs of the individual rulers. The tax system was not burdensome. Though Aurangzeb knew the importance of a system, Rajput he inferred in their rule. He made certain rules based upon jizya tax, sharia, burned the construction of new temples. He increased taxes and loans for the poor were not easily available as during the time of Akbar. Akbar abolished land taxes on the poor and was tolerant towards all religions. Aurangzeb expanded the empire much beyond any of his predecessors and he continued to appoint Hindu officers in order to run his empire. As a result, the rule of Akbar saw less revolt than Aurangzeb's rule. Aurangzeb should have continued the policy of his father. He should have limited the extent of his empire, modernized his army, developed a novel power, and deployed trusted men and officers at different offices. He could have made peace and entered into matrimonial alliance with Marathas or Sultans of Deccan. He could have been more tolerant towards the larger population and their religion. After Akbar, the Mughal rule reached its peak as far as its extent is considered. It was glorious because there was an increase in art and architecture. Foreign visitors to India under the rule of Jahangir and Shah Jahan were spellbound by the life of rulers and the elites. Trade and commerce flourished and there was demand for Indian products across the world. Although this changed sharply under the rule of Aurangzeb, who led a much simpler life. Mughal rulers were able to lead a life of comfort, especially after Akbar's rule, because they had inherited a vast empire and had large amount of resources and wealth at their disposal. The nobles lived in big houses, wore fine clothes and jewelry, and had a number of servants to look after their needs and were paid well. Among officials, the Mansabdars were the highest paid officers in his empire. The middle class, such as the employees of the court and palace, still had better life. Artists and craftsmen also led a comfortable life. The rural elite, meaning the big landlords and jamindars, lived in good houses and were prosperous or rich due to the revenue they collected. Some of them maintained small troops. They had good influence and power in their religion. The ordinary peasants led a difficult life. They worked hard throughout the year and were unable to collect enough for themselves. A careful study of Mughal miniature paintings will reveal that their possession generally consisted of mats, few clothes, and little else. They had enough to eat since most of them had land and could have some grains for themselves. But during the time of floods and droughts, their life became very difficult. In villages, they were exploited by the jamindars and other officers. In cities, they were exploited by their masters. Common people were unable to afford most things. They could not wear good clothes or footwear. They used common herbs as medicines and did not have money for much else. Thank you so much, kids.